There's a special kind of silence that hits you right after someone says something so bold, so disrespectful, so unnecessary, that your brain literally needs a few seconds to reboot. You just stand there thinking, did this human being really just say that out loud, with their full chest? And the worst part, you walk away still replaying it in your head, crafting elite comebacks you should have dropped on the spot. Today, that ends, because I'm giving you 5 responses so sharp, so calm, so brutally intelligent, they don't just silence people, they make them question their entire personality. 1. When someone tries to insult you just to feel superior, people who randomly insult you aren't confident. They're insecure Wi-Fi signals looking for someone to connect their misery to. So when someone tries to embarrass you or throw a jab, respond with, "Are you okay?" because you sound upset. Say it calm, say it slow. This line works because suddenly you're the one analyzing them. Now they look like the emotional one. They look messy. They look unhinged. The moment you flip the frame, you win. Nobody wants to look like the unstable character in the room, so they quiet down real quick. 2. When someone raises their voice to intimidate you, the classic, "Let me talk louder so I can feel right." People yell because they don't have the words to argue with intelligence. Smart response is telling them, "Relax, I'm not your problem." This line hurts feelings because it reminds them, if they're shouting, that anger didn't come from you. You just happen to be the nearest human being to absorb it. They don't want to look like the chaotic demon unloading trauma on random strangers. So, what do? They calm down. Silence achieved. 3. When someone tries to guilt trip you. Here's the thing about guilt trippers. They weaponize kindness. They act like victims because it's easier than taking responsibility. For example, if they say, "Oh wow, so you won't help me? I thought we were close." Respond by saying, "You're trying to manipulate me and it's not working." Say this and watch them glitch. The moment you label manipulation as manipulation, manipulators crumble. Their power only works when it's invisible. Once you shine a flashlight on it, done. They start backtracking, stuttering, acting confused. What? Me? Manipulate? Never. 4. When someone tries to discredit you or make you look dumb. Some people genuinely wake up in the morning with the goal, let me make someone feel stupid today. Maybe it makes their ego feel taller. Maybe they're bored, who knows? But when someone tries to talk over you with that, "I know better than you" energy, just tell them you're not listening. And that's okay. Just don't expect me to repeat myself. This line is elegant violence. It does 3 things at once. It shows you're calm. It shows you're not desperate for their approval. It puts all the pressure back on them, because now they have to ask you to repeat yourself. Congratulations, you now own the conversation. 5. When someone crosses a line and acts like it's normal, you know those people who say wild, disrespectful things and then act like you're overreacting? They'll tell you, "It was just a joke. Don't be sensitive. Relax, I'm just being honest." Simply tell them, if that's your version of a joke, I'm not laughing, try again. This one hits their ego like a blunt object, because now the spotlight is on the quality of their behavior, not your reaction. Suddenly their joke isn't funny, their honesty is rude, their personality is questionable. People get silent real fast when you calmly tell them their normal behavior isn't normal. Quick reminder to yourself should always be, you don't need to argue, you don't need to scream, you don't need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Just deliver your line and let the silence choke them gently. Look, life is full of people who think they can speak to you anyhow. They think your silence means weakness. They think your calm means they can walk all over you. But here's what they don't know. Silence is power. Calmness is strategy. And the smartest person in the room never raises their voice. They raise their standards. So use these 5 responses wisely. Not to attack people, but to protect your peace, your intelligence, and your dignity. And remember, you don't owe loud people a louder reaction. You owe yourself the kind of energy that keeps your life sharp, stable, and unbothered. All right, go out there and silence some chaos in the calmest, smartest, most savage way possible. Oh, and for the people who always ask for books recommendation for the topic discussed, I would suggest you read The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. This book is basically a cheat code for understanding how people think, including the people who try to argue with you, guilt trip you, embarrass you, or manipulate you. Dobelli breaks down over 90 cognitive biases, which are the mental shortcuts humans use that often lead them to act irrational, loud, defensive, or just plain stupid. When you understand what bias someone is operating from, you suddenly know exactly how to respond in a calm, smart, controlled way that makes you look like the only adult in the room. It helps you recognize when someone is trying to drag you into emotional reactions, when they're projecting insecurity, or when they're speaking from ego instead of logic. This book gives you the mental clarity to stop taking things personally, stop reacting impulsively, and start responding in ways that instantly silence drama. It's emotional armor mixed with psychological insight. The second book I would recommend you read is Verbal Judo, The Gentle Art of Persuasion by George J. Thompson. This is the closest thing to a real-life guidebook for handling disrespect, confrontation, and manipulation without losing your cool. Thompson, a former police officer, teaches a system called verbal judo, a method of using words like self-defense. Instead of reacting emotionally, he shows you how to redirect people's energy, flip the power dynamic, and stay in control of the conversation. This book teaches you how to respond to insults, handle people who raise their voice, shut down passive-aggressive comments, and negotiate with calm authority. It's full of real-life examples, scripts, and psychological principles that show you how to sound confident even when you're irritated. The biggest lesson: never respond to emotion with emotion. Respond with strategy. If you want responses that silence people without sounding rude or insecure, this book is pure gold. Last, I would suggest you read The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. This book is one of my favorite books. This book is a game changer. If you want to master calmness, boundaries, and unshakable confidence during uncomfortable conversations, it teaches a philosophy based on Adlerian psychology, the idea that people's behavior is driven by their own insecurities, trauma, and desires for validation. When you absorb this perspective, personal attacks stop feeling personal. You start seeing through people instead of reacting to them. The book uses a dialogue format to show you how to detach from other people's opinions, stop getting dragged into emotional arguments, and stop feeling the need to justify yourself. It gives you the confidence to say no, the clarity to stand your ground, and the mental strength to respond with intelligence instead of anger. This isn't just verbal power. It's emotional power, and when you mix the two, you become someone people cannot rattle. The comment of the day goes to Omnipresent, and it reads, "This is one of the best channels on YouTube, no doubt. Don't gas me up like that. I might drop another video today out of pure chaos."